1-2, 1-2.
Featherstone Rovers.
One, two. 1-2. 1-2. Well, no, it's just if you'd rather go on this side, I don't mind.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
You're right. You what? Do you want to start recording at least and then let me know when audio comes through? Oh, you're not going to miss any of it, are you? One, two. 1-2. Welcome back to the second half here at the Keepmoat Stadium. Doncaster 4, Featherstone Rovers 0. A half of two halves is very much what the cliche of that first half. The Dons in almost full control in that opening 20 minutes. But then Rovers coming back strongly in the second quarter. But the Dons will get the first use of the ball in the second half. And it's Paul Sykes with a kick-off towards the Dons left. Bounces once and it's taken. So, very tight first half, Joe. Very nip and tuck all the way through. Second half, is it going to be some more of the same?
Yeah, we've got a real arm wrestle on our hands. It's going both ways, and which way it swings in the end, I suppose, will decide the game. Still think Rovers have got something in them, an extra gear to find. Will we find it in this second half? That's the question.
Certainly is, as Cunningham makes his way forward, Martin halfback. He's been a real threat for the Dons in the first half as Cutmore's in now. Cunningham certainly causing problems for Martin half for the Dons.
Yeah, Cunningham causing problems, but equally Andy Ellis causing problems for the Rovers. So out of hooker and fullback, both teams posing a threat, that's for sure. Now we see a high kick put into the air and a good chance to return here from Hitchcocks. Can we see the same again? He's there with a fend, but this time they're wise to it and they get up in numbers.
I fancy that's something Doncaster will be working on at half time. Surely that's interference. Referee not interested, and here's Will Sharp trying to spin away from the tackle. No tries in 1.5 games for Will Sharp. I'm not sure if he's approaching a record now, but after his prolific scoring efforts last season. And here the Rovers now in the Doncaster half with Cording. The ball's come loose. Who's that off? What's he going to say? It's all on. It came off Doncaster, but the ball went backwards. So once again, Rovers turning possession over. The ball came off Cunningham and went backwards. So once again, though, Joe, Rovers not completing a set and turning possession over.
No, it's an adventurous offload attempt from Matty James, and he's not aware that other players are wise to it, and so it doesn't come off, and now we see ourselves under threat here.
Indeed, and here are the Dons now. Cunningham. Through the hands it goes. That's a slow passage of play, though, for Doncaster. Stuart Howarth on dual edge from the whole team. Here's Rankin. That's a high kick. It's not. That's gone backwards in the wind as well. Oh, that wind is awful, Joe. The second time in the match we've seen a high kick like that. Trying to get the high kick, get the distance, but the ball going actually backwards from where the kick was taken.
Yeah, we've seen banana kicks in this game. The ball's going up in the air, and it's a lottery as to where it goes. That can cause havoc for both attack and defence. Sometimes it reaps benefits for you, and sometimes it's your undoing.
Tim Spears now. Plays that ball just inside the Dons 40. Sykes. That's great. Good play from Rovers. Here's Matt Ryan. Sykes to Matt James again. Rovers then. Attacking the Dons 20. Inside the Dons 20. In fact, they're on their 18-yard line. Sykes again now. Drops off. It's a kick through. It's a good kick for Chappell. It's Nathan Chappell. It's over. The try is given for Rovers. It was a great kick through from Paul Sykes. It was great kick through from Hitchcock, showing his skills not only at returning the ball, but skills with the ball. Chappell still had a lot of work to do, though.
Yeah, it's well orchestrated there from Paul Sykes. He sorts for Hitchcock to come around the back, then Hitchcock puts in a neat little grubber kick in behind, just like Doncaster used to score their first try. And Nathan Chappell's the most aware and most alert, gets the ball down. It's a great dive for the ball and a good finish.
Certainly was. So the Dons playing attendance, so still had a lot of work to do to get that ball down, though, Joe. When the kick came through, it were two Dons playing attendance. Almost had to reach round the back of one of them to get that ball down. But a great effort to actually do that.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that's exactly the kind of thing you want from your men on the fringes, and he showed his talents there, that's for sure. Now, Paul Sykes, it's a difficult kick here, but a chance to take his side out in front. Will this continue to be nip and tuck for the rest of the game? Certainly not one to take your eyes off.
Certainly not. And it's certainly not one for the old ticker as well. Nip and tuck all the way. It's practically identical try to the ones the Dons scored in first half. Paul Cook not able to convert that one. Be interesting to see if Paul Sykes can convert this one. It's the Battle of the Pauls at 6 this afternoon. It's true, though. And so Paul Sykes, the left-footed kicker, so it's not easy for him by any means, but he has certainly got the talent to do it. There's the kick, and it's just gone to the left of the upright. And I mean, just there wasn't a lot in that. All square here at the Keepmoat. Doncaster 4, Featherstone Rovers 4.
Yeah, agonisingly close from Sykes there with the boot. Unfortunately, it goes just wide, and we've got a real game on our hands here then. It's 4-all. We're just 5 minutes in. We've got 35 minutes left of this game. It's going to be a belter.
Certainly, there's certainly nip and tuck all the way. And Sykes able to take that kick off. And here comes Matt James now. That's a good return. What a drive from Matt James. And I think that may well have been a little bit of holding down there, cheeky holding down by the Dons, or an attempt at. It was Steve Snitch doing it. Ellis now, though. Rovers attacking down this left-hand channel on halfway already. 3 tackles in. Sykes. Spears. Here's Sykes again now. That's Andy Bostock. Here's the last tackle, says the referee. Paul Sykes it is with a kick through this time. That's taken. It's going to be a penalty to Rovers though. I fancy Paul Sykes may have been taken out off the ball. I don't know what Andy Hayes said at half-time, Joe, but it's a different Rovers that have come out second half.
It really is. I mean, we saw issues with following up on our tries last week, but blimey, we followed that one up well, didn't we? We had 3 drives that got us to halfway. First from the 2 prop forwards, we had Matt James take that first one in. What a fantastic drive that was. Then Andy Bostock chugged his marker. Matt Ryan on Joel Reg, showing that Joel Reg players don't just come here for a run out. He wants to have a good game today as Andy Bostock takes another one in there. But then earning the penalty, you start to put sides under pressure, and that's how you get chances.
Certainly, and here the Rovers. Well, that's a great hit on the Rovers. And it's a penalty for offside. Oh, that's a big goal. Oh, what a hit it was, though, by the Dons. I can't see who actually did it. They came flying out of the line, and before Nathan Chappell could take that ball, it was a flying hit. But the referee, Mr. Turley, has penalised the Dons for offside, Joe.
Rovers sending it out wide, but yeah, man came out of nowhere then, and they put a hit on Paul Sykes, rather, taking the 2 here to put the Rovers in front. You'd feel just to the right of the sticks. Yeah, big call from the referee there. Donny just looked to leave some pressure, and now Rovers are going to take the lead.
It was a question I was going to ask when I had the last penalty, whether you would take the 2 in this sort of game. The option's been taken this time. This will give Rovers a 2-point lead. It's that tight again, Joe. The 2 points at the end of the day, as Paul Sykes steadied himself to take this kick, 2 points at the end of the day could make the difference.
Without a doubt, I mean, we saw Doncaster's game against London's really taught us that, as last week that only went down to 4 points. That many games in this division, well, across all divisions in rugby league at the moment, they're just going down to a single score. This is going to be a tight one, you feel?
Indeed it is, as Paul Sykes has kicked the goal. So Rovers have a 2-point lead. So Rovers take the lead for the first time this afternoon. Coming up to 10 minutes gone in the second half. It's Doncaster 4, Featherstone Rovers 6. So Rovers with a 2-point lead. The kickoff's taken. Taken easily enough by Sykes. And here comes the return from Matt James again. There seems to be so much more urgency about Rovers in this second half. Bostock now. Ellis. Rovers, the level of urgency seems to have gone up 2 or 3 steps since half-time, Joe. I don't know what it said at half-time.
Yeah, really added something again, and just within 3 tackles, Rovers are up on the Doncaster line, really bringing the ball back well here, following on their scores and making sure that they put this Doncaster side under pressure. In the opposition half now for the kick. Sykes there again. Doncaster not taking out late this time, but Dave Scott pinned right back on his own line there to take the ball out. It's a fantastic chase.
Certainly, it's almost a perfect set for Rovers from scoring. When you get the ball back, if you could choose a perfect set without a try in it, then that was it, surely.
Yeah, that's one right out of the coaching manual.
Here are the Dons now then. Struggling to get out of their own 20. They've upped the intensity in defence as well as attack of Rovers. And here are the Dons now. Waterman acting halfback. Moves that ball inside. On the Rovers, on their own 40 now, sorry, the Dons. Here's the last tackle. The Doncaster are still inside their own half. It's Cook. Cook with the kick through as Hitchcock and Sharp come across. Who's taking it? Sharp is. I think it was a case of, do you want it? No. Do you want it? No. Sharp said, well, I'll have it. And a penalty for Rovers. The frustration setting in for the Dons. You can see the hands in the air. They don't like that goal. The referee, though, the penalty is given. And after you do all that hard work from the Dons, you pen Rovers back in their own 20, Joe. And on the very first tackle, you give a penalty like that.
Yeah, it's a great chase from the Dons, but then going in with a shoulder, I believe the referees awarded a penalty. Paul Sykes now an opportunity to get us out, get us some good territory. Yeah, taking us up to just short of halfway with that penalty. We restart the set again, reload, and let's see if we can score some points.
Indeed, and Rovers now on halfway. Doncaster certainly seeing some niggling tactics setting in from the Dons. Baldwinson back on for Rovers. Ellis finds Spears. Tries to sprint away from one, but wrapped up by the next two. We're going to see the return of Pascal Dunn, as the Rovers put the ball down. We are going to see the return of Pascal Dunn. And also of Matt Carver. Rovers turning over possession there. But when your confidence is high, you're going to try new things, Joe. And Rovers are out, and you can tell confidence is high in both attack and in defence.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why we love watching the sport, isn't it? We want to see players attempt things, and sometimes they're going to come off and it's going to be put down as brilliant. Occasionally it won't come off now, as we see James Lockwood coming down the sideline. He's going to resume. Let's see if he can add something to the side. Which back row is going to come off?
Here are the Dons. Carbert just on the Rovers 40 now. It's the last tackle. And it's a kick up through by Rankin. That's way too deep, though. Too much on that kick. And let's see if we can see a return from Hitchcock like we saw in the first half. I think that return from Hitchcock in the first half, Joe, I think that was probably the turning point of the game. That's when he's really fancied Rovers. We're going to come back into it. It's not Hitchcock's this time, it's Sharp. But Rovers, a disappointing kick for the Dons at the end of that set.
Yeah, you don't want to be sending it out. There's James Lockwood does come on. It's Tim Spears who comes off the field. Let's see what James Lockwood's capable of. We see some criticism after his performance last week. To me, I do think sometimes his effort goes unnoticed. Without ball in hand, he's a very committed defender, gets through a lot of work rate, and sometimes that goes unappreciated.
Sykes now finds Lockwood. And just as you're praising Lockwood for his work rate, he knocks the ball forward, Joe. And Rovers once again turning over possession. In this sort of game, in this tighter game, you can't afford to keep doing that.
Oh, you can forget that, Lockie. You're one lad. I try and big you up, and that's what you do to me. That's the last time I tried to help you out, right? Yeah, Dons now finally getting possession back. But they're in their own half. Can we look to pin them here to send it down the short side? And it's a good fend there, but to no avail. They gain no extra yardage. It's some great work from the forwards there. They pin him down, and Andy Ellis is able to get back in the line well. Pellicina here, bringing it up well. He does look like a powerful runner. He looks like he's going to break through every time, but the Rovers' defence are well organised and they're able to hold him up now as they bring it down the left.
Certainly, the powerful runner certainly made a difference for the Dons this afternoon. And they'll be looking for more of the same from him in the second half, as we saw in the first. As we're going to see the return of Paul Wood now for Rovers. He's trotting down the touchline. Probably at the end of this defensive set, I fancy. Here's Palliacina now. Wood just in discussion there with the fourth official. The kick's through by the Dons. Will Sharp able to retrieve it. Takes the tackle. And now we're wondering now who's going to come off for Rovers. And here's Hitchcock's. Matt Ryan. Rovers there penalised for not playing the ball correctly, I presume. But one thing I noticed in that set, though, Joe, Matt Ryan wasn't exactly fighting to get back in the Rovers line there. He was just taking a steady stroll back.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know if a player's carried or not. You don't know if he sees that there's no need to rush back, because often you outside backs, they're going to take those first couple of runs and get you out. It allows your forwards to have an extra rest, but a young lad like that on the outside fringes, you'd be hoping he does work back, particularly as the dual edge play. He's wanting to impress and get back in for his Super League side. At least that's the hope.
Indeed, here are the Dons down the left. Dan Cowling already scored one, very, very tight to the touchline. Manages just to stay in. And here are the Dons now, 5 metres away from the Rovers line. Probably less, actually, to be fair. Cook drops it off to Paliasina. On the 6th, and another penalty for the Dons. There's a shout from below us for 2. I don't know if that's actually the coaching staff. It is. They're going to go for the 2. The call has come from Tony Miller to take the 2. So no, Paul Cook. Tony Miller was last year, wasn't he? Yeah, the call has come from Paul Cook to take the 2. And in fact, so Doncaster are going to do that again. Mentioned it to you when Rovers did it, Joe. It's that tight a game. Surely at this stage, you know, and it's a game like this, 1 point better than 2. None.
Yeah, 1 point certainly isn't better than 2, but yeah, no worries there. 2 points definitely the way to go. Both defences seeming relatively impenetrable. We've seen 2 lucky outcomes from Grubbers perhaps putting behind the line, but other than that, neither side being able to break through. So taking the 2 definitely a wise option. It's going to level the scores here. We said it would be a tight game, and with just over 20 minutes to go, it's certainly looking that way.
Indeed, it's going to be Doncaster. Then here's the kick. It is successful. The flags go up. It's Stuart Sanderson, so we're level again. We're level again. It's Doncaster 6, Featherstone Rovers 6. I fancy, Joe, the way this game is going, it could end up coming down to a 1-pointer at some point. It's that tight a game. Neither side has really managed to get a grip on the game to the point where they've got that comfortable margin.
Yeah, definitely. I don't see this game more than a score separating the 2 sides. So you do think next time you're in the opposition 30, what do you do? Do you go for a 1-pointer? Do you try and stick it between the uprights? Or do you stick it into the corner, try and pin them back and keep control of this game? Both theories have merit, but it's up to the players out there on the field and the coaching staff on the sidelines.
Both players in the side certainly have players capable of getting the 1-pointers. Doncaster, of course, we know all about Paul Cook. Rovers have got the likes of Paul Sykes in there.
Yeah, Paul Sykes, very competent with the boot. We understand Margine's a capable kicker. Other players, we're yet to find their talents out, but Gazmore out of the side, we know he can be threatening, certainly. We've seen that for Batley already in the past. Now as the kick there goes to touch, and it's going to be Rovers' ball on the 30, I feel. Yeah.
Yeah, so Rovers will get head and feed up this scrum on the 30. A great chase on that kick, great pressure on the kicker there, and probably not the kick he wanted to put in, but the kick was away, and referee just in discussion with Lee Waterman, I think, there about something. I'm not sure what. The scrum goes down. It'll be Paul Sykes who'll feed it. Andy Ellis out of the base finds Will Sharp. So Rovers then starting this set on their own 30. It's Baldwinson again. No, it's not. It's Hitchcock's. My apologies. Here's Lockwood. So it wasn't Hitchcock's either. It was Foster. We don't know between us. Here's Paul Wood. That's one I do know. Got 3 players in the Rovers team, all wearing the same boots. It's confusing. There's Matt Ryan now. Sykes again. That's a high crossfield kick from Sykes. Oh, that's caused problems. And if that could have just come off the upright. That was a very dangerous kick, and there's a quick tap. Wasn't on the 20. And the Dons are away. Oh, Joe says he's got pace to burn. They're going to see a penalty for flopping on. We saw Jai Hitchcock do it in the first half, Joe. What a tap restart.
Yeah, great one there. Whereas Jai Hitchcock's managed to work free of his marker. Dave Scott there just made sure he was going to take on Ben Blackmore for pace. He burned down the outside of him, and he certainly had the run on him. Blackmore able to grab him around the legs, work him to the ground, and then Baldwinson does flop down. He gives away the penalty, but perhaps it's worthwhile stop it. Stops Doncaster, gain a quick play the ball, and it allows our defence to recover. We've got some underhand tactics there. The Doncaster player pushing Matt Ryan to the ground there, and Rovers get a penalty now. Not what Doncaster will be wanting to see. Them also lacking composure in the attacking third.
Paul Cook, I fancy, will be absolutely furious with that one. Doncaster had a great attacking position, and one of their players came charging in, trying to push a Rovers player from the play of the ball, conceding a penalty, and that is just stupidity in my opinion, and Paul Cook isn't going to be impressed with that one.
Ludicrous. I think it was Rankin who took place in the action, and I don't know what was going through his head, because nothing good's ever going to come out of that. The referee's always going to give a penalty. It's clear as day for him to see as Paul Wood takes the ball in well there. Legs still pumping as he's worked to ground. It takes so many men to take a player like that to ground. 4 players on that occasion. He sucks them in and allows players to get wide and get running here. As that offload's taken from Doncaster, and they've got the ball back. Both sides lacking composure with the ball here.
Surely at this stage of the game, Joe, with just under 20 minutes left, possession has got to be key. It's that tight a game at the moment. Here are the Dons now just short of the Rovers 30. And I fancy not far off drop goal territory. And Rankin steps inside. We know what Paul Cook can do with the boot. Here's Palliasina. Through the hands it goes. Here is Cook now. Drops that ball off inside to Dan Cowling. Cook attacks in half-back, moves the ball inside. Carbot. Cook again, he's going for the drop. It's gone wide of the uprights, but Rovers' discipline is what led to that opportunity for that in the first place.
Yeah, and Doncaster there going for the drop goal, showing their hand as something goes wrong with a tripod to the left of us. Anyway, Rovers bringing it out well here. This is exactly what we want to see. As on the touchline, there's a Doncaster player being attended to by the physio, but we keep plumbing forward with this ball. Doncaster there showing that if they get the opportunity, they will be going for the drop goal. They know this is going to be a tight game. Will Rovers do the same if they get the opportunity? Let's see.
Indeed, Rovers on halfway now. Lockwood gets him into the Dons half. Still a fair way to go to get into drop goal territory. With 63 minutes on the clock, it's Doncaster 6. Featherstone Rovers 6. Sykes drops it off to Wood. Rovers on the 40 now. This is the last tackle. The ball's worked to the left. It's Sykes with a ding through for Sharp to chase. The kick's too deep though. And here's Dave Scott again. That's a good chase from Rovers. What they'll be looking for now is a mistake from the Dons. Keep your defence tight. Keep your discipline tight. Bend the Dons back in and you're in with a shout, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. End of the game, so little in it. If sides are going to start going for drop goals, then it's all become a territorial game now. It's pinning your opponents back and making sure you play the game in their end of the field. As Paul Cook shrugs off his man there, he works his way up to the halfway line. What a great run there from a seasoned professional there. As we see Cunningham get to the play of the ball, they bring it down the right. Waterman's got the ball, but well done, Matt Ryan there, tackling into ground, holding him up, making sure we keep control of this now on the 5th tackle.
Indeed, it was a great defensive set for Rovers, but a lucky breakthrough from Cook. And that's gone, the kick through from the Dons has gone touching goal, so it's going to be a tap restart on the 20. Rovers look to have the Dons pen back in that set though, Joe. And then a lucky, one missed tackle could make so much difference in this match.
He certainly can. It really can come down to that one-on-one just between two players. Which one comes off the best? But isn't that why we love this sport? It really is. Just one moment can completely change this game. 6-all. So little time left. Let's see where this one goes.
Don't go anywhere, folks. We're in for a classic last 15 minutes here, as we have got exactly 15 minutes left on the clock. It's the Dons 6, it's the Rovers 6. Lockwood probably stealing it out from where it was tackled. Here goes Ellis. Drops the ball off to Sharp. That's a kick through by Hitchcocks again. Oh, Dave Scott didn't seem to want that one. He was stepping back, and in the end, Joe, he had to dive forward to take it.
Yeah, it was a very awkward grubber kick there from Jai Hitchcocks. I'm not sure he made clean contact with boot to ball, but it gave an awkward bounce there for Dave Scott, and he was unable to take it cleanly, so had to pounce on the ball. Great chase from the Rovers players there on that left side as well. Now as we look to pin the Dons back again, we're certainly controlling these later stages of the game.
Oh, that could easily have been a penalty there for forward Waterman, though. Rovers just needs, that's a better set from Rovers. A much better set. The Dons are still in the 40. It's a kick from Rankin. Taken on the full by Blackmore. He's got 10 metres to run into. If Rovers can get into the Dons 30, we're going to see a penalty there. Tipping beyond the horizontal. Joe doesn't seem to like the look of that one. Rovers is up on his feet. Fortunately, it's Ben Blackmore, but that was nasty, Joe.
Yeah, stupidity from Donny there. Blackmore does well to take the ball on the full, runs up into the line. But then the Doncaster defence attempting to hold him up by lifting him above the horizontal. Gives away a stupid penalty from their point of view. And now the kick to touch is going to get us into their half. We've got a chance to launch an assault. First time since drop goals really been an option, though we might have the opportunity here.
Indeed, and here are the Rovers now. Just short of the Doncaster 30. 6 tackles in hand. Ellis moves that ball inside, and Rovers inside the 30. Now they're certainly getting into range. This is all on, folks, and Rovers have got the players who can do it. Ellis. Doncaster are trying to slow this play the ball down now. Ellis. Wood driving for the sticks. Rovers are in prime position. Paul Sykes has got 18 metres. Doncaster again slowing things down. Sykes, he doesn't take the drop this time. He gives it to Matty Ryan. Rovers aren't going for it. Sykes. Sharp! Will Sharp! It's a forward pass! The referee has given it as a forward pass. Oh, Joe was just about to start jumping for joy at the side of me. We said, would they take the drop goal? They didn't. It was the right option, but the pass was forward and the chance is gone.
There's a poor man with a monitor in front of us, and I nearly jumped off his ledge on top of him. There, that pass really borderline. Can see why the referee's giving it forward. It probably was. It hit the angle he had was better than ours, but blimey, why do you do this to me? Featherstone Rovers putting the ball out wide down the left. There's Doncaster breakaway down their left-hand side. Cunningham there from the back of the ruck. This game, folks, 8 minutes left on the clock now. It could go either way. No.
11 minutes left on the clock. Who's going to come up with this ball? The referee's going to put the knock on. It's going to be head and feet to Rovers on their own 40. Oh, what a match we have got here this afternoon, folks. As Mitch Clark comes on for the Dons. 11 minutes left here at the Keepmoat Stadium. What a match we're seeing this afternoon, Joe. It's a low-scoring affair, but it's such an exciting match in so many different ways.
Yeah, so many people excited for the World Club Challenge later this evening, they should be down here at the Keepmoat Stadium to watch Featherstone versus Doncaster. This is definitely the game of the day, Ben, regardless of what happens tonight with South Sydney and St Helens.
Indeed it is. The weather's playing its part, and Rovers now in the Dons half. Again, working that position. Here's Paul Woods again. Gets the offload away. Marginet drinking and diving. He's got a lovely stepper, Jerry Marginet. Ellis, Lockwood now driving for those sticks. Rovers are in the Dons 20 again. What's the option this time? Ellis, Wood, Sykes. Rovers working it out to that right-hand side now. Hitchcock's still going. Hitchcock throws it off. Matty Ryan! Matty Ryan is over for Featherstone Rovers. What a fantastic try. Has he given it? It's Matty Ryan who scored what can only be described as a fantastic try for Rovers. It was a superb play from right to left. The ball going across the line. And Matty Ryan in possession. Man, it steps inside, and what a finish. Doncaster 6, Featherstone Rovers 10.
Unbelievable. Jai Hitchcock gets the ball out wide on the right. Once again, they can't keep hold of this man. His fens are keeping them at bay all the way. He works himself out into open pasture, goes out to the left, and then gives the drop off onto his inside where he scores so much havoc there. And Matty Ryan walks into the gap with glee. The Doncaster players are still chasing after him. They managed to grab a hold, but they're not stopping him get that ball down. And here we have it. We've taken the lead now, a chance to put us a whole 6 points in front. Paul Sykes, this could be a game winner. It's a very important conversion, this.
It certainly is probably the most important conversion of the day across any game is this one. This will give Rovers a 6 point lead, and then they will really be in drop goal territory. But as it stands, a 4 point lead at the moment, a superb try. Jai Hitchcock again causing havoc in the Doncaster ranks. Sykes then with this conversion attempt. He's kicked it, folks. It's gone straight between the uprights, directly in line with us. I followed the line of the ball. Rovers have a 6 point lead. How crucial is that right now? Doncaster 6, Featherstone Rovers 12.
Here we have it then, folks. And I believe I just saw Danny Evans receiving word from Andy Hay. He was signaling to Paul Sykes what seemed to be a ballerina step, so I assume that means go for the drop goal next time you get the opportunity. They know this is the tight game. They're respecting the opposition. No Doncaster are capable of coming back, so we need to put ourselves more than a score in front.
They certainly do. It's that tight a game, but Rovers have got the edge. Rovers have got the quality to get up there at the moment. Here's Paul Woods. He's had an outstanding match today as Paul Woods for Rovers in the forwards. A real workman-like performance. And when you've got forwards like Paul Woods, like Jordan Baldwinson, Matt James off the bench, Andy Bostock off the bench, it's an embarrassment of riches, Joe.
It really is, but on Paul Wood, he's dropped down the division and he's really been impressive. Sometimes you see players, they drop down and they don't quite set the world light like you'd expect them to. But the trio of Pauls today, Sykes, Wood, and Cookie, they've shown that old guys have still got it. What?
I mean Sykes, Wood, and Baldwinson.
No. Forget it.
You've lost me there, Joe. I'll leave that one as it is. Here are Doncaster now, trying to work out from their own half now. They're just short of the 40, but tigerish defence from Rovers, not giving the Dons room to breathe almost. Through the hands it goes again. Cook moving it out wide to Waterman. Waterman's away. Great chasing back defence from Rovers. It's the last tackle, Cook. Waterman again. Waterman with a kick for the corner. That's going to find touch. So Rovers survive. But what a good break from Waterman down that left-hand side, Joe.
Certainly 7 minutes to go and your heart skips a beat when the opposition make a break like that. Very important that we play ourselves out, we complete the set here and we put in a good kick deep into opposition territory here. We need to make sure we pin them back because as they showed there, they can be dangerous down the flanks, that's for sure.
Bostock's coming back on for Rovers. Be interesting to see who comes off on this occasion. The scrum is fed, and here's Will Sharp. Tell you what would be very nice, Mr. Referee, will be a penalty anytime you want to give one to help Rovers out of here. Here's Tim Spears. It is Bostock is now on. Can't see who's come off yet. It's Paul Wood who's come off. So Paul Wood's gone off and Andrew Bostock back on. As here come Rovers again, bringing that ball forward. Hitchcock's again. The work rate of this player is absolutely phenomenal, folks. If you've not seen him yet, you're missing a treat. Here's Sykes to Bostock now. And Rovers just short of halfway. Sykes. He'll kick for the corner. That, Joe, is an absolutely fantastic kick from Paul Sykes. When you've got a 6-point lead and you're on halfway on your last, you couldn't put that kick in a better place.
That's exactly what you want. All those years of experience. We know both sides have been eager on the kick return to get it forward, and they've both been very dangerous ball in hand. So you put that ball dead, you run the clock down a bit, although they were quick to set the scrum and get the time taken off. And you've got a chance to set your defence now and look to pin the Dons back. 10 metres out from their own line, they've got all that way to go to even think about getting back in this game. Fantastic kick, showing all his experience from Paul Sykes there.
Indeed, and here are now the Dons and Rovers for now. The big word, Joe, surely has got to be discipline. No penalties in this set. Pin the Dons back where they are. And then once your kick comes in, you've got a chance of going for that drop.
Without a doubt, we're getting up and being very determined, but you can't be too overzealous. We've got the ball, though, here. The ball's come loose in the tackle there, and we're just in front. Do you put the ball over now, ladies and gentlemen? We're bringing the ball down the left here. We're using up all the tackles. Agonisingly close here.
Indeed, it was a mistake from the Dons and Rovers now. It's a great charge from Rovers, driving for that line, just meters short, folks, right in front of the sticks. So it's Marginet. Marginet has kicked the drop goal. Remy Marginet. Oh, ho, ho. Paul Sykes was a foil. He was stood backwards, Paul Sykes. Paul Sykes was stood back with his hands up like he was going to go for the drop goal. Completely missed him out. The ball found Marginet further back. And that's what we said, Joe, earlier on. We talked about the drop goals. The players who we've got that can take them. And Marginet showing exactly how to do it.
Yeah, Marginet, great kick there. There's, we've seen the knock-on being given, but which way here? Rovers with the ball. First knock-on given to Doncaster now. With 30 metres out, we've got the ball in hand with just over 3 minutes to go. Stick it up your jumper, lads.
Indeed, Joe, it's been a very different type of match. The match we saw at Hunslet on Monday night. Rovers' performance has been very workmanlike. We've seen a lot of outstanding performances again. Hitchcock's at fullback. For me, springs out to mind. Paul Sykes has been superb as well. Joe, your man of the match.
Well, you've got to pay some credit to the forwards all the way through this game. They've plumbed us upfield well, but you certainly can't look anywhere else than Jai Hitchcock's at fullback. Every time he's brought the ball forward, he's done it with such vigour, conviction and determination. And to set up that final try for Matt Ryan, what a fantastic run and bit of play that was. So Jai Hitchcock, without a doubt, is my man of the match today, Ben.
2 man of the match performances in 2 games for Jai Hitchcock. He's certainly setting the bar very high for the rest of the team to try and take that off him. Rovers with a 7-point lead now. Here goes Tim Spears. Doncaster 6, Featherstone Rovers 13 with 2.5 minutes left. That's a kick. Who's that come off? It's still the last. So Andy Bostock puts the kick in. It was one more kick. It's still holding up. Oh, games like this, Joe, you've got to laugh. You've got to enjoy it. The kick was charged down. It came to Andy Bostock. And of all the people to put a kick in, is one of the biggest prop forwards. And to be fair to him, Joe, he got a pretty good kick.
Rather dangerous, and it had a good chase on it now. 2 minutes to go. 2 scores needed from the Dons. I don't see it, Ben. I think we're home and dry now.
Indeed, 2 performances, 2 defeats from 2 for the Dons at the minute. A disappointing, well, an encouraging defeat last week, but I fancy Paul Cook will be disappointed with today's defeat.
Yeah, his side looked to be in control early on. He'll be more pleased with that first half performance than they were last week at the Broncos. Going away to London, though, once you're back at home in front of your own supporters, you'd be hoping for a better second half performance than this. But certainly, just some of the play that's been put on from the Rovers today, particularly Jai Hitchcock's, has been impossible to handle, that's for sure.
It certainly has. I think Rovers have found a real jewel in the crown there. Having a fullback with the ability of Jai Hitchcock to return that ball, especially into the open space. As here goes Will Sharp now. We're into the last 60 seconds here at the Keepmoat. Doncaster 6, Featherstone Rovers 13. And Rovers, but with this victory, Joe, not only is it 2 points, but they're putting down a real marker to the rest of the championship as well.
Definitely is, as we go into a particularly difficult set of games on the horizon. We've got games against Bradford and London, both coming up thick and fast. And so it's going to be very difficult, but certainly make sure you're down at the big fellas next week as Matt Ryan there puts the kick in, but it's out on the full. Come on, lads. I know the game's won realistically with 30 seconds to go, but let's be smarter with the kicking play.
Certainly a disappointing finish to that set for Rovers, but Doncaster still having to score twice. So there's only 9 seconds left on the clock. A kick over the top from Cunningham. That's the last play. Hitchcock ain't bothered at all. I think the best way I can describe that, Joe, is professional. What a match it's been for Rovers. Dan Carling got the Dons in front early doors with a try after 8 minutes, which wasn't converted. Nathan Chappell then levelled it up for Rovers. That was the half-time score, 4-0 to the Dons. Only 4 minutes into the second half, Nathan Chappell levelled things up, which couldn't be converted by Sykes. Paul Sykes, though, did get a penalty goal 4 minutes later to stretch the lead out to 2. Sanderson then got a penalty for the Dons to make it 6-all. Before 10 minutes to go, Matt Ryan able to get over 10 metres in from touch. Goal by Paul Sykes. And then of all a superb foil by Paul Sykes. The ball found its way to Marginet. A 1-pointer that made it a 2-score lead. A very professional performance, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly what we needed to see in the second half. Rovers bringing the ball forward well. 2 good tries, 2 great finishes. With Doncaster players surrounding the 2 players, Chappell and Ryan. Be interesting to see whether we have him in the team next week. Of course, here on dual reg on this occasion. But that game next week at home. First time back at the Featherstone Stadium this season. We host Bradford. Just come down from Super League. They'll be hungry to register a win against the side that have dominated this division for many years. Yeah, be interesting to see if we've got any dual reg players. We need to make sure we shore up that first half, that we perform brighter than we did in the opening exchanges here at Doncaster and last week against Hunslet. If we give Bradford that much possession early on, they'll be dangerous, that's for sure.
Indeed, and Rovers, it has to be said, Joe, from the lower league of the NRL, the league below, they found a real jewel in the crown at fullback, an outstanding talent at Jai Hitchcock's.
Yeah, Jai Hitchcock has been bringing it very forward, very well, rather. And of course, we've got James Van Dijk to return to the squad. Doesn't that really give the coach some options? Both players very capable of playing both centre and fullback. Be interesting to see what happens there with those two.
Indeed, it will. A work-like performance in the forwards as well. But look at the likes of Paul Wood. Never holds back when he's taking it in. We've also got Jordan Baldwinson again. We've got an embarrassment of Richards, Bostock and James off the bench today. We look so strong and the strength in depth is superb.
Yeah, unbelievable in the front row. And you think to add to that, we've got Ryan Verlinden to come over from Australia. Once Carvel gets up to match fitness, he's going to come into the team, and blimey, that front row is going to be scary, that's for sure, Ben.
Indeed it is, folks. It's been a fantastic match here at the Keepmoat Stadium, should I say. It's big fellas next week. Featherstone against Bradford. Make sure you're there for that one. Full time here at the Keepmoat. It's Doncaster 6, Featherstone Rovers 13.